In the depths of uncertainty, we find strength we never knew existed. Life and death are not enemies, but part of a continuous journey that reminds us of the beauty in every moment we have. When you stand on the edge of what feels like the unknown, it's easy to be consumed by fear. But in that fear, we often discover the clarity that comes with truly understanding the fragility of life. Life's beauty is often realized only when we are forced to confront its inevitable end. It is in that space of contemplation that we learn to appreciate each breath we take and each step we make. In the face of death, we learn to look at life through new eyes. The trivial things fade, and what remains is the power of love, the strength of our souls, and the preciousness of each heartbeat. There is an undeniable silence that comes when life and death are in balance. It's in this space that we begin to see life for what it truly is, a gift that should never be taken for granted. In these moments of confrontation with mortality, we learn that what matters isn't the length of time we have, but the depth of love and understanding we've cultivated. Life and death are both teachers, each guiding us toward a greater understanding of who we are. It's not the end that shapes us, but the way we choose to live before that inevitable moment. When facing the truth of life and death, we realize that we are all connected in this beautiful dance. Our souls intertwine, and we learn that the end of one life is not the end of the story, but the beginning of another. The only certainty in life is change, and as we move through this world, we must learn to embrace every moment with gratitude, knowing that our time here is fleeting. As I stand between life and death, I find peace in the thought that every experience, every connection, and every lesson is a gift. Even in the face of loss, we find the strength to keep moving forward. Life and death are not opposites, but parts of a cycle that define our existence. It's the moments in between, the laughter, the love, the tears, that truly shape who we are. In the space between life and death, we come to understand that our greatest power lies in how we choose to live in the present moment. Each decision becomes more profound when we realize how precious time really is. The veil between life and death is thin, but in that thinness, we find profound clarity. It's not about fearing the end, but embracing the life we have, knowing it's finite and beautiful in its imperfection. Facing mortality teaches us that the only real failure is not living fully. The courage to live each day as though it might be our last is a gift we give ourselves in the face of the unknown. The true test of life is not in how long we live, but in how we live each moment, especially when we know the end is inevitable. In every breath, we can find purpose, meaning, and a reason to keep going. In the shadow of death, life becomes more vivid. Every sunrise, every touch, every word, and every smile holds a deeper significance, reminding us that these small moments are what make life extraordinary. We are all just passing through, but the imprint we leave behind can last a lifetime. Life is not measured by the years we live, but by the love and kindness we share along the way. Death is not something to fear. It is simply a transition. It's in the living that we find our true power, and the way we live each moment will echo long after we are gone. The contrast of life and death forces us to reflect on the meaning we create. Every second is precious, and in these moments, we are reminded to never take time for granted. Life is a fleeting moment, and death is but the end of that moment. What we do with the time we have is what gives life its meaning and depth. In the quiet between life and death, we realize that what matters most is not the fear of the end, but the love we give and receive in the time we have. Death is not an end, it's a new beginning. Life is just the space between the two, and it's what we do in that space that defines our legacy. As we come to terms with the fleeting nature of life, we begin to cherish each breath, each smile, and each connection, for it is these moments that fill our hearts and souls. In the face of death, we find ourselves more alive than ever, realizing that every moment is a gift, and we should live it with love, passion, and gratitude. The fear of death can never diminish the value of life. In fact, it's often the awareness of death that teaches us to live with more intention and meaning. Life and death are woven together in a delicate balance. As we face both, we are reminded that each day is a chance to live fully, to love deeply, and to embrace our vulnerability. The most powerful thing we can do when faced with life and death is to surrender to the present moment.